Morning. I am on the Longfield Branch Trail, a Longfield Trail out at Big South Fork again. It's kind of a spur of the moment trip for me. Truthfully, I did not realize I was going to even do this until I woke up this morning. But I have some video ideas that I am working on, and I'm coming back down here to the. I've been saying Boyatt, and I've now realized I've been saying that wrong. I think the proper pronunciation is Boyatt. I work with a guy named Boyatt, so it just rolls off my tongue as Boyatt. But anyhow, I'm getting distracted. So I'm coming out here. It's a solo thing for me today, and it'll be probably a short little day trip. There's a front coming in tonight, and we're supposed to get several inches of rain at home, so I can only imagine it's going to do the same thing here, or else I would have tried to stay the night. Would have liked to have brought my wife down here and showed her all these things, but it does not seem like since October, end of October anyhow, we have had any time off together. And to Papa and Carrie, my no business exploring buddies, I apologize for not letting you know I was coming out here, but then I don't think you would have appreciated a 3 a.m. phone call to let you know that I was. So anyhow, I am coming down here to do some discoveries around the farm site. Nothing that none of us have seen before, so I don't think I am leaving you out of anything. And I honestly don't know when this video will air, because I am forced to learn some new software for some of the ideas I have in the video production. So, give me a few minutes to wander all the way down here and across the creek, and I'll be getting back with you. It is, or was, about 45 degrees when I parked the truck. It's breezy. It's a pretty windy day. I think at home, which is 200 miles west, it is to get up near 60. I would guess the 50s here, but currently it's just a little chilly, nothing too bad. Blue skies, overcasty though, which I'd prefer overcast, to be honest with you. Keep the glare out of my eyes. So, should be a good day. And there's a neat little rock house, maybe worth exploring one day. Okay, I've made it down to No Business Creek. It's just over here on the left. Right over here is the camp that Papa and I stayed at a couple days in October when we explored down here. And now, just down the road a little ways and across the creek, which I am not going to try to film. Last time I tried to film it, I had my balance all off and slid on a rock and then dumped in the creek, and I don't want to do that today. And the creek looks a lot higher than it did when we were here in October. So that log over there, when the rangers do a guided hike, they use that to cross. But with a bad back and all, I'm going to forego that and just get my feet wet. Yeah. There's some ice. It was colder earlier this week. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see that one. That's a prettier clump of ice too, but the hemlock's in the way. And here's little Anderson branch where it feeds into No Business Creek. Upstream and the top of the ridge, there are, I think, 3 off-trail falls associated to Anderson Branch. And I would like maybe this spring to go exploring for them. One of them's a 65-footer, so it should be pretty impressive. But I'll wait for a time when I can hook up with my buddies Papa and Carrie, and hopefully bring my wife out too. She's a waterfall hunter. But nothing I really want to explore today. That's just a pretty view. We are almost to the home site. I want to go beyond that first to the cemetery, pay some respects first, and then come back to the farm site. But I just wanted to capture that. It's a really pretty view. Okay. The first time when I came up here, I thought that it was a much larger cemetery. You know, I thought, just looking at all the stones, that it was maybe 30 burials or so. And then I found something on the from the National Park website that just says there's 6 burials here. Although I still think there's probably a few more than that. But one thing I'm going to show you on this particular grave, I've noticed with graves at home, in between the lakes area and such, older ones, they would mark the headstone. But then again, they would also mark the footstone. And I think that is the case here. I don't know that for a fact, but just looking around, I think that may be part of a burial custom here also. Okay, so I'm here at the Boyatt farmstead again, and I'm not so sure why this place calls to me the way it does, but it does. I know the 1933 events are quite tragic, and that may have a little bit to do with it. I really don't think a tremendous amount, other than it probably cut short for this family the life that they were living here. But I can tell you, just this chimney in the background, it just calls to me, and it's kind of like an unfinished story in a way. I look at the chimney and then I wonder what the house may have looked like. Look at the fields out here and wonder what they were like when people lived here and farmed here. And it's hard for me just to see this little chimney and not know how the rest of the house looked, how the rest of the property looked. So that's kind of what brings me down here today, is to got a little notebook and a tape measure, and I'm really just down here data collecting, so I'd like to just try to measure out, maybe get an idea how big the house was. I know most cabins here were a story and a half, just from reports I read when the Corps of Engineers first took ownership of the land and some of the archaeological studies that they had done when buildings were still standing. I couldn't find anything in this particular one, though, as far as documentation. So, just looking at the foundation stones, it looks like it was pretty narrow. So that's kind of my goal for today, is just kind of fact-finding, data collecting, putting some information to my imagination. And I thought once I get done with my little snack here and take a few minute break, we'll just kind of see what information we can't come up with. There is a picture on the National Park Big South Forks website in the historic collection that shows a double crib house with an add-on building. I don't know, because they don't say if it is for this home or not. I'm trying to take this angle to help mimic the picture I seen because of the John Muir overlook back that way. Just to see if maybe that overlook matches this angle. Okay, I hope this is coming out. Got the two sections of the house. This is the closest to where we're at now. And it was 18 feet deep, 18 feet to where it breaks for the chimney. Picks back up again 4 feet later and runs 21 feet this time, back 18 feet. And then this would be the entire backside. There is also a bunch of stones up front, which I'm guessing is for the porch, and it comes out 7 feet from the edge of the house and then runs all the way across. I did not take that length of a measurement, but it stopped short 7 feet from making it to this corner. So I'm thinking that's going to be the front porch. That I don't know, but that's just the way it looks to me. So, I believe I am standing inside the house, obviously, because the chimney's right here, I think. foundation stops right here with the stone wall. I think I am at the front of the house, facing into the field. One thing I know from old maps and things I've read, the Boyatt family lived at the end of the road, and it would only make sense to me that you faced your house back towards the road. So I think this is the front. Foundations, oops, I'm probably out of frame now. So this is probably the outer wall, and then again the edge of the porch, and it would have been a single room, likely, out to here. This style of house is commonly called a saddlebag house, mostly because it's identical on both sides, so just think of a saddlebag folding down on a horse or something. Although it is just a little bit bigger on this side, but I think that's pretty much how this one is laid out. So here at the on the longer section of the side of the house, Papa, when we were out here in October, pointed out that hole in the chimney, which that leads me to believe that there's probably an additional room built on later that probably incorporated a wood-burning stove, and then they just ran the stovepipe up and over into the chimney. That's just my guess. I would suspect that the addition to the house, hold on, I'm going to move, that the addition to the house probably came off the back side here and headed out this way. I have nothing to confirm any of that, but it's just my guess that it was like probably a kitchen, as wood-burning stoves probably came down here later in history than the house was first built. They probably built onto it a separate kitchen room and did their cooking and heating that way. Just a guess, though. So that's kind of about it for me. I was really just curious how the house probably looked. I think I'm going to tool around here a little bit, just look around. It's a really pretty day. It's quiet, minus the wind, but that's okay. It's pretty peaceful too, really. Going to make me a little lunch. If anything of interest really pops up, I find something or whatever before heading on out, then I'll turn the cameras back on. I've got a long drive to get back home. Actually, I'm doing good on time. I've given myself 3 more hours to be out here before I thought I would leave, so I've got plenty of time. Like I said, I'm just going to make me a lunch, and I'm not going to film that, not today. So that's kind of it right now. I might turn the cameras back on one more time as I leave. But thank you for hanging out, discovering things with me, and we'll see you next time. One last look at the Boyatt cabin site. I tell you, I find people who live this way very charming. I pray to the gods sometimes that I wish I knew how to just kind of drop out and live off the grid. I know it's a hard life, but to me it's a charming one. So sometimes when I'm down in places like this, it's just easy to let yourself go and just imagine what it was like to live this way.